Howdy, friends and neighbors. Welcome back to Disobedient. I'm your host, Peter Arena. It is Thursday, August 13th, 2026. I'm doing a short solo today for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to give you a quick rundown on the upcoming shows that I've got lined up. We've got a gentleman by the name of John Pepe, who's a really talented upcoming children's book writer, poet, and all around very interesting, thoughtful gentleman who's doing all sorts of really interesting things. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to say. Followed by Kim Carlson, a woman who I have known for, oh gosh, it's probably 10 years now. I've known Kim. She's been a friend on Facebook, although we never actually met. And we just spoke for the first time literally days ago. She is a remarkably insightful and well-written commentator, synthesizer, and what I call the 30,000-foot view type of analyzer of the world around us. And she's going to have a lot of really cool stuff to say. So I'm looking forward to that conversation as well. I have a wonderful woman. We'll just call her Sally. She is a lady I met recently in Binghamton, New York, who is a flat earth adherent. And I want her to come on and basically give us a well-rounded view of what it is that flat earth people who are adherents to and are convinced that the earth is not a globe floating in space, but is in fact a stationary, non-moving disk anyway, it's gonna be a really great conversation. I'm still a little bit on the fence, but I'm actually pretty well convinced that there is a lot of credibility to what the flat Earth community is saying, and so I'm looking forward to having her on and giving her bit to make the case for flat Earth. But she's also just a remarkably interesting lady, and she's going to be able to talk on a number of great things. A little while further down the road here, towards the end of the month, I am going to be interviewing an old friend of mine, a gentleman who I used to row with in New Orleans. We were on the New Orleans Rowing Club together, and we've maintained friendship over 20 years now. He has since moved to Ecuador. He is a professional turbo technician who works on these big, huge ships. And to this day, I still don't understand what he does. But he's a very talented, mechanically minded fellow, and he has built a remarkable kind of standalone homestead in his home town there. Well, not his hometown, but his newly adopted hometown in Ecuador. So looking forward to that. I'm hoping we can do a bit of a walk and talk, and he can give us a tour of his premises, which is, one of these evolving, ever under construction, but nonetheless incredibly amazing places to see what he has accomplished there as a standalone. I call it the Omega Man down in South America kind of routine. He's great. So that's what's coming up. And of course, please like and subscribe to the channel. The more folks that we've got that are adhering to what we're doing, the more watched hours we have, the quicker I'm able to do some live shows. Apparently, YouTube's rule is that you have to have a minimum of 50 subscribers. I think as of today, we've got 14. So we're getting there, but I could sure use your help. So please subscribe and, of course, like this episode. The reason I decided, besides giving you an update on upcoming shows, I wanted to also talk to you about something that just constantly is gnawing away at my mind, and that is this whole artificial intelligence AI phenomenon, and it is a lurking specter in our lives. I've wanted to kind of give the title of what I wanted to talk about today, the coming parallel reality of AI. So, in a nutshell, it is my contention that AI is being uh, promulgated, developed, and is growing with the intention of effectively replacing us, the the human beings, as it were, with a facsimile rendition of us, and that these data centers represent effectively the hard drive accumulative storehouses for all of the the incredibly dense, rich amounts of data that go into effectively reconstituting, reconstructing an alternative parallel reality of what we are. It could be simply in the digitized nether sphere of kind of the metaverse, not to use the Facebook version, but a parallel reality. And before I get into this too deeply, I want to emphasize one thing, and that is that those people, this cabal, this cadre of people who are effectively pushing this and have the kind of power and connectivity with our institutions, either here domestically in the United States or across the world generally, these people are, for lack of a better term, demonic and are driven by satanic intentions. I don't think that is as radical a notion and contention as it might have been even as recently as 5 years ago. I think that the COVID scam that was perpetrated on humanity back in 2020, 2021 has never gone away. I've been saying this for quite a while now, that COVID had its roots in effectively dislodging the world. I think we have pre-COVID, post-COVID, and when I say COVID, it has nothing to do with some sort of fictitious virus that might have been foisted upon us, but the actual mechanisms of destructive, reconstitutive agency that was employed against us. In other words, it is this kind of destructive reconstruction of society, and it kind of harkens back to the Masonic, what do we call it? The Masonic credo of ordo ab chaos, order out of chaos. Effectively, you have to destroy something. It's the Hegelian dialectic, right? We have to destroy something and then reconstitute it in a form that we want or they want. And so this is what we saw. We saw ever since COVID, it has been nothing but this destructive forces that are in the process of reconstituting. And I believe that these data centers are the most emblematic and most physically present and imposing manifestations of this reconstitution. And they represent, let's consider them to be the hard drives that are networked together to create what is effectively a new mind that utilizes all of the data that has been acquired about our behavior, about our characteristics. You know, when you put on the Apple Watch, it's monitoring your physical behavioral characteristics, the world around us through the mapping, all of these things of which, you know, I'm just effectively scraping the surface of, come together to create an alternative universe, an alternative world. So the people who are are instrumentally behind all of this are people like the Ray Kurzweils, what we've been sometimes describing as the technocrats. I think to call them technocrats is a bit of a gives them a softball pass because it kind of sounds as though there's something innocently bureaucratic about it. Oh, there's just a technocrat. Okay, well that's not true. These are not just technocrats in the sense that they are tinkering here and there around the edges like some sort of wonky politician who wants to adjust tax policy to engender the movement of populations from rural to urban areas or something like that. No, this is an overhaul, and I believe again that without sounding insane, that these people are other directed and are oriented and aligned with their own God, and their own God is what I can only quite simply call as Satan. And so their motives and their actions are therefore demonic. And we're talking about people like Ray Kurzweil. We're talking about the Peter Thiels of the world. We're talking about the Sam Altmans of the world. We're talking about the Yuval Noah Hararis of the world that have this philosophy that effectively we are nothing but sacks of meat that can then be replaced and got rid of, and that this alternative worldview, this alternative world that they intend to create and are in the process of creating, finds us and renders us useless, more useless than they already consider us, because we have now been duplicated. And so there's the question of what exactly is it that is that this workable facsimile of our reality renders. Well, it renders a model that, at least in the interim period, or perhaps even in the extended future, as an ultimate, an infinitely moldable and infinitely scenario-cased gaming platform. So we've seen in popular culture this idea of bringing on where some actor finds himself living in an alternative universe inside of a game, right? And so every day he's either some sort of what do they call them? The non-player, I forget what, NPCs, non-player characters, or are you the actual player that's surrounded by the NPCs? Well, again, this whole model has this really innocent impression that it gives to people, but the reality is that this is what's happening, and that's what these data centers represent. They represent the foundational database mind that will effectively allow for the synthesis and through their accumulations of this alternative, workable facsimile of God's creation where we reside. And so then that begs the question, well, why? Well, if we are to continue down the road of assuming and believing that these people are of a satanic bent, they are, and have admitted as much, that they want to assert themselves in a position of gods and replace God with their master. That's pretty heavy-duty stuff. So this is bothering me in a lot of ways, because it's the what people would call the boiling frog issue, where effectively people are the boiling frog metaphor or analogy, whatever the hell it is, asserts that how to boil a frog. Well, you put the frog in a pot full of cold water and he's going to be fine. He's like just going to be swimming around inside this pot. But then you turn the heat up, click on the gas burner under that pot, and slowly but surely that temperature begins to rise. And the frogs being cold-blooded the way they are, they don't quite notice it. And it's like, it's getting warmer, but hey, we're still swimming around. And then eventually it gets so hot that he's like, holy shit, I got to get out of this pot. And by the time he's thinking about how to get out of the pot and trying to scramble up the sides of this pot to get out, that water is now boiling. And so you're having frog legs for dinner. So we are those frogs. We have incrementally been subjected to and have absorbed and accepted through no fault of our own, no judgment here. I'm just as much a part of it. This thing that I'm staring at right now represents the encapsulation and embodiment of a lot of this kind of technology in the form of our so-called smartphones. And it's a tool that I use, that billions of us now use, but it is an instrument that has allowed them to hasten their efforts. And that's the way it is. So we have this opportunity to awaken and before the water's boiling, as it were, and try to render their efforts, either themselves or the literally millions and millions of what I call familiars. You might call them Shabbos Goy. They're the useful idiots that effectively are willing participants, thinking that they're going to be part of the new world that's being created. But we are effectively in a battle now against these forces, and I think that the only opportunity for humanity to save itself, and when I say humanity, I mean everybody, but I think that for some bizarre reason that these sorts of efforts are being executed most aggressively here in the United States and perhaps throughout the British Commonwealth, where we saw the British Commonwealth countries like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, even India to some extent, and of course throughout the UK, this mind-numbing execution of draconian efforts. Again, COVID being the template and trademark, pre-COVID, post-COVID delineating line in time for us. We saw that those so-called leaders in the UK and in these Commonwealth countries and here in the United States, perhaps not as much, but have been fully on board and executing the efforts of this cabal of Satanists to deploy their tactics and efforts most effectively. And now we see, what do we have? Literally thousands and thousands of these data centers cropping up across the country. I'm not sure where this goes. I'm not a spring chicken, as my mother used to say. But we have coming generations of young people like my beautiful niece and nephew, who I love very much. And I don't want them to be growing up into a world that has been rendered useless eaters, that renders them useless eaters in a world that has now been replaced by this seemingly perfect facsimile of our reality for the purposes and manipulation and control by a select few of people who consider themselves to be gods. So this is me just trying to articulate something that's, like I say, has been on my mind. And I hope that it resonates with other people. I think that this is powerful, a powerful time to be alive. I think this is a powerful time to be to do two things in particular, and that is to find a real earnest relationship with God and with, in my case, Jesus Christ. And it also is an opportunity to be more aligned with nature. And it also, and I'll say a corollary third thing, and that is for us to be the kind of creative, productive, interesting beings that God created us to be, and that is to use our hands and make things. And so that's some of what's coming down the road for myself. I'm perhaps going to be chronicling in the future the construction of my own dream home that I've had the designs for decades. I'm looking to build my own timber frame, straw bale infilled house, and hopefully make it off grid and make it a place where we grow things and live harmonically with my surroundings and grow community with all the people and friends and family that will be in my vicinity. So this is where we're at, and I hope that everyone else is on the same sort of path as well, because I think that after some pretty deep thought about this seems to me to be one of the few opportunities for us to extricate ourselves and literally resist in a tangible way becoming the, I don't like to use the word victims of what these demonic people and are intending to do. So that's it for today. I hope that this was helpful for others and that you got something out of it. Again, please, I really hope that you'll subscribe to the channel, like this episode. We're going to be working on some really great stuff in the future. This channel is going to expand. It's going to be a fantastic show, and I think that it's going to be something that people can come to as a resource to learn and understand and see how other people are doing great things, and that it's a reality for them, and that they are thinking outside the box. They are forging their own way and building their own paths and building their own new homes, figuratively and literally. And so God bless everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.